SJU on this lovely Thursday. Look, I know what day of the week it is. That means we're off to a great start. I'm Roxy Striar alongside Danielle Radford.
Hello.
Hello. Spenny G.
Happy Friday.
What just happened?
It's Thursday.
You forgot that quickly?
Yeah.
Good. And Dan Murrell.
Hello.
Hello, hello. All right, guys, we got a lot to get into today, including some sequel talks. We got Aladdin 2 coming out, and, well, not coming out, but talking about it. It will be coming out, just not on this Thursday.
Can't escape.
Rick Moranis. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids turned to Shrunk. That's what we do, says Danielle. We just shorten those titles. Emilio Estevez, Ducks, Mighty Ducks, just Ducks now, just Mighty, we don't know yet. And Green Knight got a trailer that we're going to talk about, so let's get right into this, starting with the Aladdin story, guys. Aladdin 2, so a sequel to the 2019 blockbuster. I keep thinking we're still in 2019, but that was last year. Is in the works at Disney with the studio hiring scribes John Gatton's Flight and Real Steel and Andrea Berloff, straight out of Compton in the kitchen, to plot the new course.
All very similar to Aladdin.
Yeah, you could really see the train of thought there.
Yeah.
Guy Ritchie is set to return to the director's chair, while Will Smith, Mina Massoud, and Naomi Scott are expected to reprise their roles as Genie, Aladdin, and Jasmine, respectively. I don't even remember from when this came out. Just thoughts on the Aladdin, live-action Aladdin in general. Danielle, were you about it?
It was fine.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. I liked the expanded role for Jasmine. Will Smith tried as hard as he could, and that's all you can ask of anyone. It was fine. I felt like a lot of it kind of fell flat for me, but
Okay,
yeah.
Spenny?
Yeah, a tepid okay. It was good in comparison to a lot of the other Disney live-action remakes.
Yes.
It was like an entertaining homage to a better movie, but an entertaining one. So I like that, and I'm curious if they're reprising their roles at the end. It was one of those, like, it was all a dream situations, or like, Will Smith was telling them the story of Aladdin on a boat.
Yeah, but he's the genie.
He knows all.
I don't know. I think he was just trying to have his
Shut
kids
his
stop.
kids up?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe he has another story to tell.
Maybe.
Maybe he does.
Dan, where were you with the Aladdin live
I
action?
liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I didn't
Okay.
love it. I liked it.
Well, I am obsessed with it. Leave
Really?
it to me. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Without a doubt, this is the best of the live action remakes from Disney. I love Aladdin so much. I love the new Speechless song. I thought that was beautiful, and I'm a big fan. I have the fattest crush on Mina Massoud on the planet, so that probably helped. Fat crush. Don't know why I did that. But I think that it was really great. That being said, a sequel to it, like you kind of pointed out, Spenny, does seem a little interesting. What do we think they could possibly do here?
They got lucky. They got a good cast to recreate a movie that everyone loved, and it made $1 billion, and that's great. They don't have that anymore. I don't know.
There's a lot of clamshell VHS copies of Return of Jafar circling out there.
Yeah, they said they're not doing that.
Is this going to be the story about how Will Smith got that boat?
Yes.
It just follows as they get the boat, start making them children.
It's typical. They just can't leave well. No one can ever leave well enough alone. Ever. It's like, if it makes 2 cents, it's how can we wring every last bit of goodwill out of this? And it's just like there's so much skepticism around this, and they managed to pull it off, and that's great. But like, I don't know.
But seriously, what will this actually look like?
Well, to be honest, I'm more interested in a sequel than another remake of Aladdin. I think that
Because new story?
Yeah, because they're unmoored from. They don't have to hit all the beats of something that already exists. They could. I mean, it's a weird place to pick up from again. Like, Aladdin and Jasmine are Sultan and Sultess.
She's gonna be the Sultan.
Yes.
Sultan.
King,
Right.
King Sultan and Sultan.
Now I remember, yeah, because she's like, it's wrong. We need to change some things around here. But it struck me as weird in 2019. The answer wasn't like, the people should have a say. It was like, no, I should be the Sultan. Like, no, Jasmine rules. Y'all get down. So we'll pick up from there.
I didn't pick that up, but I do see what you're saying now. Yes.
Look,
That
baby
is a valid
steps. You know, it was a
point.
long time ago in our history.
From man to woman to
everybody.
5 more dates for everyone.
Yeah. Huh. Danielle, what do you think? Is there anything that a sequel could do that could get you super excited about it? Does having Guy Ritchie come back make you feel any kind of way?
No. No, great. He did it the first time. That's awesome. This is not the kind of Guy Ritchie movie that I want to see, but he did it. He made a bunch of money. That's dope. For me, I'm not gonna be psyched about anything until like I hear about a trailer, or if they start talking about like who might be a villain or like other casting news. Because right now it's Aladdin 2. It's got the people that were in the first one back, and then it's also got Guy Ritchie. I need like more info before I start being like, oh, interesting. Like again, who do you cast as your villain? Who do you cast as other people? Like how do you expand the universe? And then like a teaser trailer goes a long way with me.
80% of the work was already done for them with this last one. The script was written, the songs were written, the goodwill was already there. Like, it's almost like you're starting fresh here, and it's And
you say that in a bad way.
Yeah, because it's I don't know. I think there's a reason that I know that there's Return of Jafar fans, but I think there's a reason the sequels to Aladdin went to video because. They weren't.
Well, yeah, they took like 3 episodes of the Saturday morning cartoon and stitched them together to the point where it like fades to black 2 or 3 times for a commercial in the middle of the movie.
Yeah. Is there a live action remake of a Disney movie that you feel like does a better job boating towards a sequel, or that you think
towards a sequel?
Yeah, something that you like. If we were talking about a Lion King 2, or even when like Maleficent did their sequel, is there any movie that you guys feel like really deserves a sequel or demands a sequel?
I am interested if only because of the battle, and we won't know until it comes out. I'm interested if Mulan might be able to do some of that stuff because it is kind of this wartime thing. Always have more war, I guess.
Now, I would say Maleficent, because it was such a reimagining and a different perspective on that story. That said, I did not go to see the sequel, and I hear it was very bad.
I liked it.
Okay, cool.
I love that at the same time you said I liked it, and I said it wasn't great.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, this applies to one of the other things we're going to talk about here, but I'll just go ahead and say it now. I feel a little sorry for the kids now that are growing up, because like when we were younger, to a certain extent, and we were all younger at roughly the same time. You're a little younger than us old people here.
Thank you so much.
We had like great stuff like Aladdin and Lion King and Mighty Ducks and like new stuff. And I feel like we have grown up and we have failed the children of today, because 90% of what they get is rehashed, warmed over redos of the stuff that we liked when we were kids. It's like, let's make some new stuff. Let's give the kids something new. Why are we it's like our generation is throwing our old toys at the kids and be like, play with this, it's great. It's like, let them have their own toys. Let them have their own toys.
But I mean, has that always been the case? Like for Disney especially, they're taking fairy tales and then they're just changing things slightly, making them more family friendly, and then selling them to us again.
But now they're taking the fairy tales that they already changed slightly and then changing those same fairy tales slightly again, and then sending them another version. It's like, let's come up with something new.
At the same time, some of the things that we loved wouldn't hold their attention based off of like, not Aladdin because it's animated, and then there's this live action. Now we're talking a sequel, but some things just like kids are used to the best effects and different types of music, and so I do think that there's something to be said about remaking the same stories that we love in a way that will make them fall in love with them.
And I would also say, well, go ahead, Danielle.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like, because I think an interesting way to do that, if you're gonna do a like remix, like do a real one, like do like I would rather, instead of seeing a new Wizard of Oz, do a version that is The Wiz. Like, for me, I would be more
You want
interested.
another Wiz?
No, I mean, like, I would want an Aladdin version of The Wiz.
A whizzed version of Aladdin.
Yeah, a whizzed version of other things. Not exactly that, like, you know. But
So are
just,
you saying Little Mermaid?
Just something different. Just like, if you're going to take the same concept and just add and tweak and do here and there, then do a complete reimagining of it that turns it into, you know, the same kind of tale, but that speaks to, you know, the
That would
kids
be
today with their
Maleficent, right?
hip hop and their
Yeah,
everyday
and
raps.
I think Maleficent is like
Yeah.
an example of them pulling that off. As weird as it was, I thought that it worked, and it was a different story. But I think that they realized somewhere along the line that kids don't have money, so the parents are buying everything. So just name it something that the parents liked. Just call it Aladdin, call it The Lion King, and they'll be like, okay, I know what this is. I'm going to buy it for my kids.
Can I ask you guys a question unrelated to what we're talking about, and then we'll get back on track?
Okay.
Are you
That should be the name of the show.
Yeah.
are you guys hearing this like speaking in tongues?
No,
thing
there's this,
happening?
the headphones are on.
headphones are underneath the table.
I was trying to find a way to text someone down Slack.
Oh
but
my gosh.
I wasn't able to.
I was like seriously getting concerned about my health and well-being. That was like whispering voices happening in my head, and I was like, what's happening?
You didn't notice it was your voice?
Just like that.
No, I couldn't be. Oh,
There's a little echo.
it was like,
couldn't hear it.
push Benny over, push him in the chair. I was like, no, stop. Don't tell me what to do. Okay, moving forward, guys, what do you think about the little voices in my head? Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Yeah, good
Ding.
job.
Get off your ass, Joe. The bell's over here.
I can see the bell.
Or Ryan.
Bing, that's a good bing.
Now,
That's a
from
good bing.
here on
Hang on,
forward,
Spencer got out of his
we
chair.
just
I'll
say, yeah. Ready, and hit that bell.
Yeah!
That's it.
We should, in
Solid
all of
thing.
the shows we've done, why haven't we just thought about, this just needs to live here.
It should be here.
It just
Yeah.
lives.
It's like It Follows, but now we got the bell.
The voices are gone, but why are they still feeling like they're here? All right. Also, we have tons of amazing content for you guys. There's Lawyer Defends Joker in real life out now.
Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer Defends Joker.
Lawyer Defends Joker. Another Joker and Harley video coming out this weekend. It says Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
Saturday, Harley.
Joker Saturday.
Joker Saturday, Harley Sunday.
As is tradition.
And, oh, that's
Joker Saturdays.
Yeah.
Oh, Lawyer Defends, Joker Saturdays. Now I'm getting it all. So don't forget to comment on all of those videos. Check out all of our I was going to say content, but that is not a Dan Murrell word. Check out all of our
Cool things that we make for you.
cool stuff we're doing. I don't know, things is so vague. Like, we're doing cool things.
Cool videos.
Cool videos.
Awesome
They're videos.
projects.
They're awesome projects.
Yes.
I like that one. Check out all of our awesome projects.
Yeah, I usually use projects.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Speaking of awesome projects, debatable. Rick Moranis, guys, he has closed the deal to return to the next Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel, Shrunk. The movie will be made for the theatrical side, not Disney Plus. As previously reported, the Pixar Originals director Joe Johnston will be back with Josh Gad, also starring.
As is tradition.
Okay, let's just talk about. So you hear Rick Moranis is coming back. Dan, is this what you were talking about before with the rehash stuff for the children, or is this a different?
Well, it certainly feeds into it. I think the thing here is you've got Rick Moranis back, which is adds a little level of intrigue. But yeah, you know, again, it's a sequel to, at least I think with this one, at least it's been quite some time since there's been any activity in this one. So it's not quite like with Aladdin where it's like we just revived it and we're gonna keep wringing stuff out of it. It's maybe they can add something to it here that's like, all right, you know, it's been what 20 years since the last movie. At least there's a layoff there. It's
Yeah.
not just we're gonna perpetually recycle the same 15 things.
Spenny, surprised to hear that Rick Moranis is doing this.
Yeah, it's like it's so bittersweet because it's like, oh my gosh, he's back, but also like, why is he back for this of all things? I mean,
What do you wish?
Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. Why couldn't he come back for that?
Like, same though. I don't know if you're joking or telling
No,
me. No, I really
dead
want
serious.
that. Yeah, me
that would
too.
be so delightful. Or just like to do a movie that he thought was good, or a play, or anything. I mean, Also, it's like, I don't know, like, I just don't understand why this project is the one that brought him out of retirement.
I'm hoping it's got a great script, and he was like, this is, like, I'm really interested. I like what you're doing. It's a new thing. That's what I always like to think, is that, like, for some reason he just got geeked out, and maybe that means it's a sign that it's going to be really good.
Right.
You guys don't think this was, like, a financially driven decision?
They probably offered him an impossible amount of money.
There is, never say no without a number is something that I learned.
Right?
So, yeah.
But, like, he could have come back for one of the Ghostbusters. Like, there's been plenty of things that I'm sure he's had large sums of money offered to him for. What, did Disney just add another couple zeros? Who knows?
Maybe.
They've got the zeros.
But does that, like, make or break, like, a Disney Plus project? They're like, we got Rick Moranis.
But
Not Disney Plus. Yeah, this is theaters. This is a theatrical release, not for Disney Plus, although I'm sure it will inevitably live on Disney Plus at some point down the line.
Okay.
But I don't know, Dan, why, if you had to speculate why this is the project he's coming back for, do you think it is 100% because of finances? Do you think it's because...
Well, no, I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's fine financially. I just mean Disney's in a position to be able to really offer him anything. Like, and there's no limitation on Disney's side of like, well, we can only offer them this much because they are at limitless amounts of cash that they can invest. Apparently, I don't know. I mean, again, haven't seen the script. Maybe the script is wonderful. If I am Rick Moranis, you know, even Spaceballs isn't really his thing, and Ghostbusters isn't really his thing. But like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is like his, like he's the main guy. Like it's like it's his invention. He's the guy that made the thing.
He shrinks the kids.
He shrinks things. He blows things up.
He does blow them up.
So, you know, I guess I see the appeal on that level of like, well, why wouldn't he come back for Ghostbusters? Like, Ghostbusters should be coming back for like a 5-minute cameo. This is perhaps an opportunity for them to have written something really interesting to him as an actor that's like, okay, I'd like to revisit this character. Who knows? Plus, it could be a Jeff Goldblum situation where he's in it for 5 minutes.
Yep.
And then,
Right, and then the rest of it is Josh Gad is fat and falls down.
Sorry, does
that's
that
what-
mean that you're not stoked to hear Josh Gad's attached to the project?
Look,
do you have...
She just watched Frozen 2. Full disclosure.
So yeah, well, because I really liked him on Broadway. I thought that he's great. He's a good actor. It's just that like, man, the devil works hard. Josh Gad's management works harder because he is like everywhere. And unfortunately, it always winds up being the same joke with him, which is like, oh no, I'm fat and I fell down on my booty and now there's poopy on my booty. That's always the joke, and I feel bad. But the checks must spend, you know. Save that for the trailer. The checks must spend, you know. So, but I guess that's my worry is that
having him be cast does not make you say like, oh, I'm stoked for Shrunk.
No, this makes me want to see it less. Actively want to see, unless I see a trailer where it's like, oh, they didn't do that at all. They actually did something very interesting and new with Josh Gad that I haven't seen Josh Gad do before. And how cool would that be? But it's not. He's going to go up to the machine and he's going to be like, whoops, and then he's going to break the machine and then the kids get shrunk and the whole time it's going to be him just slipping on banana peels like, oh, gotta save my kids. Like, sorry.
That accent is unreal. Picturing Josh Gad with that. Dan, how do you feel about Josh Gad?
I don't have a whole lot of objections to Josh Gad. I found his work as Olaf to be very charming because I don't have children and I only had to watch Frozen one time, or maybe twice. I'm sure that parents, people that have to watch it many times, probably detest him. But you know, he's got his little niche. He has his little corner of the industry, and he seems to be doing quite well in it.
Yep.
So you know, that's
Cash
fine.
those checks.
Cash those checks. I think the title is. We are not in a bold title making time. With like Shrunk is like the only thing that makes that title bold is if the inevitable sequels all are just a different word from the original. Like the second one's just called The, and then the third one's called Honey.
I think we're in a weird time though because sometimes they either concatenate, they go down to like Shrunk or one word, or they colon it and they go like Star Trek Into Darkness.
Right.
Or like they have like Kissed by a Rose. Or like they have some kind of evocative like perfume ad title, or they just take it down to one word.
But roll with the franchise. You had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You had Honey, I Blew Up the Baby. I think it's Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves was the third one. So like name this one like Dad, I Shrunk My Kids. You know, like don't play it safe with this Shrunk. Like, dude, come on. If you're gonna do a I Shrunk the Kids movie, like go full Shrunk.
It is a tradition in that franchise.
Yes. Dad, I Shrunk your grandkids.
Grandpa, your grandkids have shrunk.
Grandpa, your grandkids are small.
I think that would be funnier. Would you guys rather it be called Shrinkage?
Yes.
Same. Cool. Glad we're all on the same page there.
Thank you for making a Seinfeld reference and not a Friends one. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, sometimes you gotta call the Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld, okay? Yada, yada, yada. Emilio Estevez, guys, he has officially closed a deal to return to the Mighty Ducks, the newly announced 10-episode scripted comedy series coming later this year. This one is coming to Disney+. Seriously, do we think this will be like the Mighty Ducks : situation? Is this going to be just the Ducks? Do we know for sure that this is going to be called the Mighty Ducks series yet?
It'll probably just be like the Mighty Ducks the series, because that's what they do to High School Musical.
The musical,
the series. Yeah.
What is that one called? High School Musical, the musical series? The
Something
series,
like that.
the musical.
Yeah.
Cool. How are you feeling, Danielle, the fact that Emilio Estevez is back? Excited that he closed his deal?
I think that's cool. I'm way more interested in the premise in this because it does sound like they're at least kind of mixing it up more than just straight up like, he's back and he's got a new team of ducks. I mean, it kind of is that.
That's exactly
but that won't
what
be
it
their
sounds
name.
like to me.
But it won't be their name.
No.
They'll have a different name.
This sounds better.
Toads.
And that they have, it's got some beak to it because it's about the out of control world of competitive youth sports, which is an insane world that's only gotten crazier since the 90s of like children doing like 3-4 practices a day and driving all around to these tournaments, and like they've taken all the fun out of it.
And some of them are televised.
Sports. And they all have like little personal trainers, and like they're like mini professional athletes now, which is obscene. So then to take it back to the roots, to the knuckle pucks,
to the concrete streets,
to the flying V's, that sounds like it could be good. I'm getting potential, Friday Night Lights season 3 vibes. You're going over to East Dillon, find Michael B. Jordan, and then lead a big comeback against the rich kids from Rich Camp. It sounds great.
Yeah, but to do this, they do that thing where it's just like there's no such thing ever as a happy ending anymore. Because the only way to make this interesting now is like the Mighty Ducks are the bad guys. It's like everything goes to crap. That's the only. It's like that's always the thing. It's like this thing that you loved, it's shitty now. And now we have to save. It's like come on, like do you have to run everything through the mud? Does everything have
because
to
Dan,
on
the
a long
Ducks
enough
was
timeline?
more than a name. It was a state of mind,
Well, yeah, but why do you have to like this whole thing of just like the Mighty Ducks were cool, but now they're bad? It's like
It worked with Cobra Kai, and then I think everybody wanted to try it.
Cobra Kai was always bad. It'd be like if you took
But now Cobra Kai is good.
It'd be like if like Cobra Kai was about like Mr. Miyagi's dojo, and now they're bad. It's like,
I guess.
Sorry, make a new Mighty Ducks. Give this generation their Mighty Ducks. Don't just throw ours back in their face.
The Plighty Yucks.
The Dighty Mucks. Give me the Dighty Mucks.
The series is set in present-day Minnesota, where the Mighty Ducks have evolved from scrappy underdogs to an ultra-competitive powerhouse youth hockey team.
That's right.
A little more on it, guys. After 12-year-old Evan is unceremoniously cut from the Ducks, he and his mom, Alex, set out to build their own ragtag team of misfits.
I love a ragtag team of misfits.
Challenge the cutthroat win at all costs culture of competitive youth sports. Benny, this is made for you.
Yeah.
With the help of Gordon Bombay.
Emilio.
Yeah, that's our boy. They discover the joys of playing just for the love of the game. Production is set to begin this month in Vancouver.
Gordon Bombay, it's like he relapsed, and this is another weird
Community
judge.
service.
Gordon, you've been methed out, stealing copper wiring from construction sites. You have to coach a youth hockey team again.
But that's not a new take. That's the plot of the first movie. The plot of the first movie was about ultra-competitive youth culture. It was just a different hotshot team. They've just taken the hotshot team from the first two movies.
D3 Ducks versus the World when they fought Iceland, right?
I think that was D2. I think was that the second one.
Yeah,
But
But the first one was about the well-funded hockey team that cut the good kids, and they have to go play for these losers, and then it's the same plot.
Yeah, they've been doing the same thing since Bad News Bears or before. Like, sports movies have a formula. Yes.
Okay, then don't call it mad. Give them their own. I'm saying I don't want the children of today to continually be force-fed by our generation, and I'm not talking about old people. I'm talking about us. Our generation just giving them the same crap that we had. Make new crap.
It's new to them.
For their
They're kids. They've never seen anything.
Make new crap.
It does kind of remind me of like the hip parents who make their kids wear like Nirvana shirts and stuff. Like, your kid doesn't know.
Your 5-year-old doesn't listen to Nirvana. Don't make them.
No, are you guys kidding me right now? I love those kids. They're so cute. They walk around in like little ripped jeans and their Nirvana shirt.
Not the right.
And they've got like black eyeshadow on. They're like 4, and I'm like, that's my child.
You're forcing them to embrace a culture that they never chose.
But
yes,
Mighty Ducks is not that. It'd be like forcing them to watch A24 movies. That'd be like you're making them weird. Mighty Ducks is like a classic family film.
Is that you wanting to segue to the A24 trailer? Yeah. Let's do it. Spenny, I appreciate that. Green Knight, the trailer dropped. I was confused on if this was really a trailer because, Spenny, would you call it a mood piece?
Yeah, it's a tone poem.
Tone poem. Oh yeah, that was what we settled on.
Oh, okay.
It's A24.
It's a tone poem. The Green Knight, directed by David Lowery, starring Dev Patel and a bunch of other people that I may or may not, and by may or may not I mean did not spot in the trailer. Joel Edgerton, Alicia Vikander.
Sean Harris was King Arthur, I think. But yes, I did not spot. I knew Dev Patel, and then I saw some puppets.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dev Patel.
It's also it's one of
I
those
don't mind
trailers.
looking at Dev Patel.
Yeah, it's one of those trailers where like you got to pause for a second because they're not worried about you being able to catch all the images.
Look at that tree, forest.
I would like you guys, somebody summarize for me. So this is getting released on May 29th, 2020. Somebody summarize for me, what is the movie?
It's based on an Arthurian legend.
Yes.
Of the Green Knight.
And the Green Knight is challenged to behead another knight.
I think it's like well, Joe, you know better.
got it.
Yeah, it's like so my brother and I used to play this game called Punch Face, and it would be.
It seems self-explanatory, but please go on.
So one of us would punch the other in the face, but it was also a game of strategy because the other person would punch you back harder, and the rules was you had to punch the other one back in the face harder until somebody said stop. So you'd start off with like light taps, but then it would escalate quickly, and then our mom would run in and say, "Why are you punching each other?"
I'm sorry, what was the strategy?
The strategy was you didn't want to punch too hard, or else they were going to punch you even harder. So you had to like slowly escalate until somebody said, "I'm done playing Punch Face."
This is just a fight. You're describing a fight.
With rules and strategy. It's a game of kings. Much like the legend of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which I believe is like, it's like you hit me with this axe as hard as you can, and I'm gonna come back 1 year later and hit you with an axe.
Harder.
Yeah, harder. Or you'll like go ahead, take your best shot. I'm gonna come back and return the favor. And that's what it's based on. Obviously, I'm not a King Arthur scholar.
Arthurian scholar.
Not Arthurian stand.
I was
not
under the
standing.
impression this was based off of that poem, but apparently it is based off of Spenny's game Punch Face.
Yes.
So now that I know that.
Long story tradition.
Dan, thoughts on this movie? Excited for it? Intrigued?
Wasn't that the fake movie in Twilight? Punch Face? Or was it like
know.
Fist Punch?
Fist Punch.
Punch Face is a better fake name.
I think, for me, it's two different things. David Lowery, I think, is a very interesting filmmaker, and this sounds very intriguing, and I'm interested to see it. But I love the movies that A24 makes. I love that they're greenlighting all of these crazy, weird things. But I feel like the marketing department is starting to phone it in a little bit because there's like one A24 trailer. It has lots of ticking or sounds that are in rhythm with something like some kind of diegetic sound is incorporated into the trailer. There's darkness, crazy weird imagery, a lot of voiceover and like weird things that are spinning and
Unnecessary headgear.
empty tableaus and meaningful looking shots.
But what do you want it to be like? Sir Gawain was a knight of the Round Table.
No, I just mean that the marketing for A24 films is starting to have a very distinct feel, and they all feel exactly the same. I just don't want them to fall into a trap where it's basically the C- cinema score trailer, where it's like, I'm going to make this look intriguing, even though this is way too weird to ever bring in a wide audience. Which is, I just feel like they're feeling a little samey in how they're selling their movies, which is a shame because I think that the movies themselves are very unique.
But they're like the only production company studio where it's like the fact that they made it tells you all I need to know at this point. Like that is the marketing. It's like, oh, a new A24 movie, the same way it'd be like, oh, a new Wes Anderson movie.
They have a brand.
Yeah.
it's gonna be weird.
Yep.
It's gonna be dark.
Yep.
It's gonna be challenging, and which I'm cool with all of those things. I just want to make sure that people don't start feeling like they're being sold the same movie and over again, because they're not. They're very different movies. I just feel like they're now starting to all be sold the exact same way, and I don't want people to stop seeing them because they're like, oh, I saw that, or oh, I didn't like the last one, or whatever.
Danielle, what do you think?
I'm really excited for it. It looks really, really interesting. And again, I'm all in on the A24 stuff. As a trailer, yeah, it's just a bunch of flashing lights and stuff to me. But that's just kind of how these are. But I'm still going to go see it for sure. I really liked, I really like how metal it looks. So I'm super, it's so metal. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to go see it.
Should we pitch them Punch Face for their next film? Like, have you tried?
Yeah, but that has to
about
take
it?
place in like 1995. It's like an Uncut Gems prequel. It's my brother and I escalating.
Amazing.
Which one's the older one? Because that's how I know which one's being abused.
The other one. Yeah, a product of older brother abuse, as the best of us are.
Amazing. Dan, going back to marketing on this for a second, why do you think that they wouldn't show some big stars in their trailer?
Because that's not their vibe. You know, their vibe is to like sell you on the mystery and the oddness and the intrigue of the movie, which is, I mean, that is definitely an approach for a trailer. Again, it's not so much this trailer in particular. It's just that as a fan of those films, I start feeling like they're selling everything the same way.
And it's also a chance though for big stars to like stay kind of hidden or get weird. It's like The Lighthouse. Like that's not those roles aren't offered to big celebrities very often. Like they have leading rom-com roles, or Willem Dafoe gets offered like the creepy villain roles and everything. So to get Alicia Vikander and Joel Edgerton like to do something, it's probably an easier pitch to them to be like, hey, you get to do this weird dark metal fantasy thing, and we're not going to like sell it based on your face on the poster. That's probably appealing.
Yeah, especially because I feel like there used to be more of the like one for the money, like one for the mansion and then one for me, one for the mansion and then one for me. And now because a lot of people are going to pin that on you, and like I feel like we're getting less of that. And so that's one thing that I am excited about, is that you do get to see a lot of people do like just this weird stuff. Although Pattinson would have done The Lighthouse either way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
He would have done it.
Facts on that. Before we get out of here, which is coming really soon, I do want to say, Dan, you have me 1,000% hooked on The Masked Singer. I cannot stop.
Get in on it.
I cannot wait. I can't believe that I missed an entire season of this.
Too.
And you guys, well, I started in last season.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I feel ashamed and apologetic. What did I say before when I pretended to push Benny? I'm remorseful. I'm remorseful for my wrongdoings here. Last night's episode was awesome.
Yes, although it's a travesty that, first of all, we all know that White Tiger, or at least I'm 95% sure that White Tiger is Rob Gronkowski.
If it's not Gronkowski, take away my Patriots card.
It's Rob Gronkowski.
That's how sure I am that it is Rob Gronkowski.
It is.
But if I'm wrong, then delete this part of the video.
His performance was a travesty.
We can't do that.
And for Rob Gronkowski to have outlasted Shaka Khan in a singing competition is...
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was a thing.
So there's been three. This is our first Masked Singer talk. So the Super Bowl episode, Lil Wayne was the robot.
Yeah, see, I haven't watched this season because I didn't realize it was coming back so quickly. Like, give me a chance to
It's a
miss
short
you,
turnaround.
Masked Singer.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss it. I want it all the time.
Okay.
Give me all of the Masked Singer.
Year round.
But who is Turtle?
Right. Well, last week Llama was revealed to be Drew Carey.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, the caliber of celebrity they get on the show is
better this year.
It's better.
It's way better this year.
It's better.
It's insane. The first person revealed, so all the spoilers right now. The first person revealed being Lil Wayne, and none of them knowing that it was Lil Wayne was egregious. I mean, it sounded like Lil Wayne, and Robin Thicke recorded 5 songs with him. 5.
I still think they know who it is, and they play dumb, or
they know who everyone is?
strategically. I think they do. Or they strategically or I think they know who some of them are. The Super Bowl episode specifically, I think that was engineered to have Lil Wayne be the person revealed, because that's the biggest. I think you could safely say that's the biggest current star they've had on the show. I mean,
like
Antonio
legend.
Brown was a pretty big star, but like Lil Wayne in the music world is probably the biggest like current. I mean, they've had legends on like Gladys Knight, but I mean just like current superstar.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was enginered. Last night
Sadly,
should have been
probably
Gronkowski.
Ninja. It's probably the biggest star.
Ninja was probably the biggest celebrity. You're right. But
Wow, that makes me upset that you think they know. I don't think they know.
I think they know sometimes.
I wonder
they
if
know
it's all like
sometimes.
producers in their ear telling them like, you say this thing, you say that thing, you say this thing. So they might like kind of know, but I think a lot of it is the producers being like, keep saying it's Jamie Foxx.
Well, but like the reason I stopped watching the final round of guessing is like almost every time one of them will come up with a name out of thin air that is miraculously the identity of the person that it is, and I just
That happened last
don't
night,
know.
actually.
Yeah, I just don't
That's
know.
a part of the formula.
So
But who is Turtle?
Turtle, I believe. Well, let me consult my notes.
Okay, I need that.
Turtle is a musician, definitely.
Also, Joe very clearly said that we're not talking about this on the show today, and I just called it audible. I'm sorry, Joe.
Oh, Joe, did you ban Masked Singer talk?
No, he just said we.
He looks like a deer in the
I'm
headlights.
sorry, Joe. Joe, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. All I was thinking about was Masked Singer. There were voices in my head still.
Some with Dreams, Ginger Snaps, Alpha and Omega, Seoul, South Korea. They showed yesterday on the map. Girling Burger, some with a gold
He
medal.
has a straight up. Do you guys know that he has a notepad?
Oh yeah, no. I've got Masked
I
Singer
always,
notes.
yeah,
I have
that's
one
what
every
matter.
week. Yeah, I just haven't done this season.
I think that he is a boy band member or a member of some
But a gold medal in
ensemble.
Seoul, Korea.
Well-
Like there were the Olympics there not too long ago.
There were, that's true. So he could be an athlete, but he's too good. He's too good. The voice is too good. I don't know. I think
I
So
that,
love
Ginger
him.
Snap would have to be a redhead, right?
yeah, or something with maybe they had a song on the soundtrack of the movie, and they also have red herrings that get thrown in there.
Yeah, they do.
So
Wow, rude.
I don't know who Turtle is, but I think that they're like a 98 Degrees. One of them,
A Lachey.
or like
That's
a
what
Lachey.
they're thinking of
or,
Lachey. But
Lachey's are available.
Smaller than Lachey.
Yeah, I don't know. The turtle costume though is pretty bulky. It's hard to remember. Like Joey Fatone did not look like. I mean, I know there's conspiracy theories that he was not in the costume, but
Is that true?
yeah.
I need to get in
season
on this level of
There were
conspiracy
conspiracy theories because he was the rabbit, and there are conspiracy theories that Joey Fatone was not in the costume because it looked too thin to be Joey Fatone. But I don't know. I think you just you once you see who it is, you project things. Yeah.
Okay. That's it for Masked Singer talk for
6
today.
new singers next week because the way
Yeah,
that they
it's
do it is.
So I don't watch. So I don't understand. What is this
changed it
whole
up.
There's a
New format.
new system this year. They used to everyone just debuted at once, but this year there's 3 groups of 6, and then you watch those 6, and they narrow that group down to 3. So this group A, has now been narrowed down to 3. So they're now in like the semifinals. So those 3, and next
Rob
week we need
Gronkowski
6.
is one of them.
He's got to be. He's
is
got to
so-
be the white
that
tiger.
is egregious.
He's got to be. First of all, that performance was horrific.
Horrific.
And he should have gone home, and he didn't. But I mean, I would almost bet any amount of money that that's Rob Gronkowski.
I want him to put Zubas on over the costume when he's revealed. Just like a
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
pair of Zubas.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's that?
Those big stretchy pants.
Yeah, those big ridiculous pants that
Yeah.
like a lot of athletes and
Like Rex Kwon Do
Yeah.
style.
Zubas? They're not the Snap.
It's a brand name.
it's a brand name.
I'm not cool. All right, guys, that's
not
it for
cool.
today's show. Cool on SJU. You know who is cool? Me.
That's
I
true.
was watching you guys talk about turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You two, and you guys called me somebody cool. Do you know
Probably.
what I'm talking
Michelangelo.
about?
Yeah,
you were there. Yeah.
And you were there. And you were there.
Yeah.
Is that Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm Wizard of Oz. Good, let's get out of here. Oh my God, what a weird moment I'm having right now. Danielle, where can the people keep up with you?
Just find me on Twitter at Danielle Radford, and then I'm here. I live here. I have a room with
Benny?
us.
What do they got to do to find you?
I cohabitate with Danielle. We sleep under the desk.
This one.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now. Dan, where can everybody keep up with you? I kicked you again.
kicked me. I hear you're a serial kicker, by the way. Apparently, this is a recurring theme, which I was not aware of.
I'm starting to get the comments. I'm a kicker.
You can find me here. You can find me on Twitter at Murrell Dan. You can find charting next Tuesday because we're off on Monday. So I'll be charting
it's
will
a
be next
holiday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, so pre-tape for Monday.
Tape on Monday, but yeah, around. I'm tweeting. I'm doing the stuff. I compare Masked Singer theories.
Yeah, those notes are intense.
Yeah.
All right.
Myself, Mara, and fellow Schmodown competitor Chance Ellison. we're all huge fans. So we're always touching base on.
Speaking of
Matt
Mara,
Singer.
guys, Dan is hiding something from us over there that he has not offered to
Oh
us.
yeah, I brought treats today.
Oh.
It's really good.
But he just still hasn't said that they're for us.
They're for everybody. They're for everybody.
I asked in every roundabout way. I was like, so are those for like the people that Mara really
You
likes
want to have
that are
one right?
here?
You want to have one right now?
Could you tell?
Well, here.
That desperately
Right.
that is what I want.
go.
in
There we
fact.
go.
So this is homemade monkey bread. It's homemade dough. She made the dough from scratch. It's basically
Love it.
dough balls rolled in cinnamon and
Mara!
brown sugar.
Wow.
I love cinnamon and brown sugar.
I love how excited you are right now.
I love sweets.
So
I love treats.
I have to say that these are delicious.
Yes, thank you, Mara.
Thank you.
Let's show
Thank you,
those
Mara.
off. I'm going to sell
Yeah.
these like they're knives.
Oh, that
there
was
you go.
you did a great job with
Oh,
that
thank
video,
you.
by the
So,
way.
yes.
All right, we'll get out of here. I'm Roxy Striar. I love sweets and Mara and all the people in this room. Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.